More than 10 years ago, when I was going through my first couple years of lifting, I really had no idea what would help me achieve my goal. So I was basically randomly throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And spoiler alert, I don't think that a single thing stuck. You know, back then there really wasn't that much information available, which now that I think about it, might have been better, because there is way too much information nowadays. So what I want to do today is show you all the things that might look like they will get you super jacked, but really, they will just waste your time and get you nowhere. And because I have already gone through this and wasted my time, I want to make sure that you will not have to do the same. I'm sure that in the past, or maybe even now, you are really obsessed with the concept of maximum gains. And to be honest, I'm obsessed with it too. That's why I make so many videos about it. But the difference is that I already learned my lesson and know how to actually achieve that without going into the crazy asylum. What I used to do might sound very similar to what you are doing now, which usually involves doing way too many exercises because you really want to hit everything. But this is the exact opposite of what will get you jacked. Yes, it's good to hit each body part from every angle, but you need to be smart about it. If you just throw a kitchen sink of exercises into your routine and it takes you 3 hours to get it done, then you are definitely not getting the maximum gains. You are getting the maximum sentence. Like it or not, a lot of exercises you have in your routine right now are probably not necessary. All that you really need to do to get the maximum gains is all the movement patterns using one of the basic time-proven exercises. If that piques your interest, I highly recommend watching this video. I will put the link to it in the description. This mindset of needing to do absolutely everything right away is especially dangerous when you are still a beginner. In that case, don't even think about training abs or training forearms, because it's distracting you from what's really important. Normally, I would say that you are building a roof of the house before you even build the foundation, but I don't think that describes it well enough. This is like building your house and starting with the chimney. It's going to be useful later down the road, but you can't live in a damn chimney, man. Now we need to talk about something very important, because it completely ruined my progress and it's probably also ruining yours right now. You might have heard from me, or from anyone else for that matter, that you should switch up the exercises in your routine every so often. Or maybe you didn't hear anything at all, and similarly to me in the past, you are just throwing exercises at the wall and seeing what sticks. And after seeing that it in fact did not stick, you threw some other exercise at the wall instead. And it basically becomes a weekly ritual for you, and it also did for me. But changing up the exercises in your routine every week is a guaranteed way of failing. First of all, you can't determine if the exercise fits you after such a short period of time. And secondly, if you just use the basic exercises that stood the test of time, instead of some goofy exotic exercises, you don't even have to go through this experimentation gauntlet, because you can jump straight to what you know already works. And that's exactly what the beginner bundle does. It focuses on the basics of training, nutrition, and even cardio, so you will know exactly what to do in each step of the way. Click the first link in the description to learn more. Changing the exercises in your routine surely has its merits, but you need to know how to utilize that properly, otherwise you are just screwing yourself over. If you are still more on the beginner side of things, you can use the same exact exercises for a year or even more. Where the exercise swapping becomes really useful is when you are more experienced, because over time your body simply gets used to what you are putting it through each week, and then going ahead and actually changing it up can cause a lot of gains to suddenly flow in, and it doesn't even have to be that big of a change. You are basically just changing the variation of the same movement pattern. So if you are, for example, doing the lat pull down as your vertical pull, over time you can switch it to pull-ups, which is a different exercise, but it still fulfills the same exact role as the lat pull down. And that's exactly what you want. The next thing we absolutely have to go over is something that probably screwed me the most out of everything, and that is training 7 days a week. And looking at it now with a ton of experience, I can see why a lot of people think that this will get them jacked, and why I also thought literally the same thing. Because doing more work should obviously equal more muscle, right? Why would it be any other way? Unfortunately, your body has its limits, and after a certain amount of work, all you are doing is screwing yourself over and wasting time. Even professional bodybuilders don't train 7 days a week, and these people are juicing out of their mind, so they can recover 100 times faster than me or you. And even when they could probably get away with it, they still don't train 7 days a week. So why would you want to do that, when you can't even walk down the stairs after one leg day? The math just isn't mathing. You have to keep in mind that your body is growing when it's resting, and if you don't give it any time to rest, how do you expect to build muscle? Training 7 days a week is literally doing more work for for less results. And that doesn't sound like a good trade-off if you ask me. So how about you switch it around and do less work for more results? Something tells me that this is the better option. For majority of people, training 4 days per week is more than enough to achieve the mythical maximum gains. And if you are currently completely destroying yourself in the gym and seeing no results, that's exactly what you should pivot to. And also what I should have pivoted to back in the day, because I know firsthand how absolutely useless training 7 days a week is. And speaking of useless, we have to talk about rep ranges, because that's one of those things that stuck in my mind to this day. I remember vividly when I was doing like 40 reps on the leg press in each set. Why? I have absolutely no clue. There was almost no weight put on, that way I could do as many reps as possible. I am really curious what I was thinking back then, but unless someone discovers a time machine, I guess we will never know. This should just serve as a precaution to not just mindlessly chase the pump, because unfortunately the pump isn't what builds muscle. What builds muscle is lifting challenging weight, and for that to be the case, you need to be in a reasonable rep range. Sure, higher reps can be useful for isolation exercises, but when it comes to the main exercises, as I like to call them, like for example the bench press, overhead press, barbell curl, etc., there is just no way in hell you are doing 30 reps in one set on any of these exercises. On these exercises, you basically never want to go over 15 reps. Then the identity and the purpose of these exercises just goes out of the window. To really get somewhere in your bodybuilding journey, you need to get stronger over time. So working in like a 5 to 8 or 8 to 12 rep range on these main exercises and really focusing on progressive overload is what builds the foundation that will help you succeed in the long run. You can't be just pumping air, that will never get you anywhere. You can use high rep ranges on isolation exercises like the triceps pushdown, calf raise, etc. That's completely fine, but the main building block of getting better at the main exercises needs to be there every single time. Now I need to share with you my pet peeve, not only because I was a victim of it, but because almost everyone nowadays is, and that is trying to optimize absolutely everything before even stepping a foot in the gym, which usually ends up just overwhelming you before you lift a single dumbbell. So you can't even say that you quit the gym, because you never even got to that part. And that is all thanks to the O thing. It really doesn't matter if your routine is not perfect, because the other option is that you stay at home twiddling your fingers. It's like if you wanted to learn how to swim and you watched a replay of the swimming race on the Olympics. Their swimming technique might be optimal, but if you try to mimic it, you will just sink, because you don't know how to swim. What you need is just being thrown in the water and simply seeing for yourself how it is. Because really, this O word is just a scientific buzzword that doesn't mean anything. You need to go explore and find what works the best for you. Of course, you are not gonna know that after your first visit in the gym. It's gonna take time, a lot of it. But as the time goes on, you will know exactly what exercises and what routine is the absolute best for you. That is the only way in which you can actually get to the top. But it all starts with going to the gym, learning the basic exercises and not giving up. And if you wanna do that, go check out the beginner bundle in the description. I promise that it will help you without making you feel overwhelmed. Thanks for watching, hopefully I was able to prevent you from wasting any valuable time. Good luck in the gym and I will see you next time. If you found this video helpful, then you have to check out this one too.